right? And if you told a joke and it bombed, you just stood there like a dummy, like that, you know what I mean? You know the feeling.
Welcome back to Hollywood Bulletin. Today we're diving into the unforgettable yet tragic story of Milton Berle, the man once hailed as television's very first superstar, whose rise to fame was as fast and dazzling as his fall was devastating, and whose life behind the curtain was filled with ambition, control, heartbreak, and controversy. In 1948, he was so popular that stores sold out of televisions just so families could watch him. Crime rates dropped on Tuesday nights because everyone stayed home for his show, and restaurants closed early to make sure no one missed a minute. He commanded 80% of the nation's attention each week, an achievement no performer has matched since. But when cancer claimed his life in 2002, there was no national outpouring, no grand tributes from the industry he helped create, just a quiet passing overshadowed by the deaths of other Hollywood figures that same day. His own son would later write a memoir calling him a selfish and neglectful father, and the last time Milton made major headlines was for an onstage incident with RuPaul that shocked viewers and tarnished his reputation. Born into a life of performance because of his ambitious stage mother, Sarah, who abandoned her husband and other children to focus solely on making her son a star, Milton's childhood was sacrificed for show business. By age 5, he was acting in silent films like The Perils of Pauline, and before turning 8, he had appeared in more than 50 productions, often working alongside screen legends like Mary Pickford and Douglas Fairbanks. While other kids played in parks, Milton was hustled onto stages, sometimes without permission, while his mother laughed loudly from the audience to help him win over crowds. By his teens, he was supporting the family due to his father's illness, all while carrying the crushing weight of Sarah's relentless ambitions. The vaudeville world Milton grew up in was a dangerous place for a child, and he later revealed that at age 12, he was taken advantage of by an adult chorus girl, a moment that shaped his views on relationships for the rest of his life. Sarah's grip didn't stop at his career. She controlled his love life too, breaking up relationships before they could last, leaving Milton with the desperate need for female attention that would haunt him for decades. Education was minimal, replaced with the competitive bubble of other child stars, which made him feel cut off from normal people. As he grew older, Milton became infamous for stealing jokes in the vaudeville circuit, earning the nickname the Thief of Bad Gags, something he even joked about himself. By the 1920s and 30s, he was making headlines for daring comedy routines, including dressing in drag at a time when it could get you arrested, and by the time television arrived, he was perfectly positioned to become its first breakout star. That moment came in June 1948 when Texaco Star Theater debuted, blending vaudeville acts, comedy sketches, music, and live commercials into a format that captivated the nation. At first, NBC wasn't sure he was the right host, but within months, his wild humor and over-the-top costumes made him Mr. Television, and his popularity literally sold millions of TV sets. At its peak, his show drew 8 out of every 10 TV viewers, reshaping American culture and even causing cities to notice drops in water usage during commercial breaks. His boldness extended beyond comedy. When Texaco tried to ban a black dance group, Milton refused to go on air unless they were allowed to perform, breaking racial barriers in primetime entertainment. Yet fame came at a cost. His mother's meddling destroyed his first 2 marriages to showgirl Joyce Matthews, and his endless affairs, whether real or exaggerated, became tabloid fodder. His third marriage to publicist Ruth Cosgrove lasted 36 years, but even that stability couldn't erase the scars of his childhood. Hidden family secrets surfaced decades later, including a son he fathered in the early 1950s, but never publicly acknowledged until much later. As television expanded into rural America, Milton's fast-talking city humor lost its appeal, and by the mid-1950s, his ratings collapsed. Overexposure and a massive long-term contract with NBC turned him from their golden boy into a burden, relegated to odd hosting gigs like Jackpot Bowling just to justify his paycheck. By the late 1970s, his inability to adapt to changing comedy trends became painfully obvious, most infamously during a 1979 Saturday Night Live appearance that bombed so badly with outdated offensive jokes and even a staged standing ovation that Lorne Michaels banned him from the show for life. Public humiliations continued, culminating in the awkward 1993 MTV Awards incident with RuPaul, after which Milton was mostly invited to roasts where younger comics made fun of his age and fading relevance. In 1999, his adopted son published a scathing memoir exposing their fractured relationship, painting Milton as vain, neglectful, and more interested in women and gambling than in fatherhood. Then came his cancer diagnosis in 2001, which doctors claimed was slow-growing, leading Milton to refuse surgery, a decision that proved fatal within a year. On March 27, 2002, the man who had once stopped the nation every Tuesday night died quietly at 93, his passing overshadowed and barely acknowledged by the industry he had once dominated. His funeral, attended by a few hundred friends and comedians, was filled with laughter and fond memories, his coffin draped in the trench coat and hat he always wore to avoid catching a cold. Milton Berle's life was a study in extremes, from revolutionary star power that helped make television a household necessity, to a lonely and controversial final act that showed how quickly the spotlight can fade. His story is a reminder that in Hollywood, fame is never forever, and the applause that seems endless can vanish in an instant. So subscribe to Hollywood Bulletin and press the bell icon to keep these powerful untold stories alive.